Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
Number 64 on our roster countdown for 2024. This is a tricky one. Cornerback Ambry Thomas. Last year, he had the biggest drop from the previous year, from 2022 to 2023, of any player, considerably. The first year we did this was 2022. He came in at number 28. He was up there, top 30. Then last year, 2023, he dropped all the way to 61. 33-spot drop was the most significant drop by almost 2 times. Well, how did he back that up? Well, he dropped 2 more spots, or 3 more spots, from 61 to 64, and he just continues to, the decline just takes place. And a lot of it, I don't know if it's fair to Ambry, because he's just not fit with what the 49ers want. The 49ers want a physical, not scared to hit corner. The guys that you see, Charvarius Ward, Diamador Lenore, that's just not who Ambry Thomas has been. Wasn't that in college. Wasn't that in the NFL through all 3 years. That's not who he is. He is a bail technique corner that just does not engage in hitting, and whenever he does, he gets hurt, and his play suffers. He gets out there after injuries, like what we saw last year in the playoffs. It seems like he plays with PTSD. After a physical injury, he comes back and plays soft. I think that there's a place for Ambry Thomas in the NFL. I really, really do. I'm just not sure it's with the 49ers anymore. Came in at number 64. His highest rank was 59. His lowest rank was 82 this year on our 4 ballots, 1 through 91. And I think it just kind of goes to show you some people are completely out on Ambry Thomas. Now, it's easy to focus on the negative, which I hate that I started the show that way. But I think we have to remember, you don't make it to the playoffs back in the day without him. The interception in overtime against the Rams that launched us into the playoffs, wouldn't even make the playoffs. Instead, we make it to the NFC Championship that year. Ambry Thomas played a crucial role in that. He really, really did. And the fact that he went from, NFC Championship starter to bubble player in just 1 short year. He started for the NFC Championship this past year. Was probably one of the worst players we had that game. But now he's a bubble player. We'll see. Jersey number 20. He's 6 foot 190. Fits the prototype that the Niners like a lot. He's only 24 years old. Those pre-COVID players, when they came out, they were young pups. He's 1 year older than Renardo Green, our rookie that we just drafted. 4.4 speed. You love that. 10-foot broad jump, 15 bench press reps. You look at his comps in the NFL, DJ Hayden, Devin McCourty, that's his physical comp now. The physicality doesn't match either one of those 2 players, I would say. And entering into his 4th season, is that going to change? I don't know. I was pretty low on Ambry Thomas last year, but at training camp, you could tell this dude made an effort to come out, be vocal, be a front leader, be loud, and hit, and not be scared of contact. He showed that all throughout training camp, and he showed it through large parts of the season until he got injured. And that injury took place. He came back and was the worst player in the divisional round against the Packers, gave up 5 catches on 5 targets with 2 additional penalties. Then he comes out in the Detroit game in the NFC Championship, terrified to hit. Looked like Tyler Lockett out there, except playing defensive back, where he was jumping out of the way of ball carriers just so he couldn't hit. Now, he broke his hand in Week 18 and had surgery and probably came back early. So, yeah, I'm not in those meetings. And so you want to give credit to players that play through injuries and come back to help their team. He came back, but he didn't help his team, and may have cost himself a spot on this roster this year. Now, positives, he was a 4-star recruit coming out of Detroit, Martin Luther King High School. Great player, and goes to Michigan, was great there too. One of the top-rated recruits in the country at the cornerback position, one of the top-rated recruits out of Michigan. It was just awesome. Big Ten honoree. He worked his way up through things, struggled with coilitis, and lost a bunch of weight. Health issues are a concern. But then in 2019, he was Defensive Skill Player of the Year. Academic All Big Ten. He's got the intelligence. He's got the tape. He's got the body build. He's got all those things. It's just sometimes looks like he doesn't want to play. And this might be the last year. It's the expiring year of his contract, his rookie deal. Probably going to go elsewhere. Will he even make the 53? I would say no right off my bat. Just because, again, if they're one to go with physicality, he just doesn't have it. Falls for double moves way too much. You look at what he did last year. He took 49% of the defensive snaps. He was out there a lot. 114 special team snaps. He was out there. PFF grades are good. 71.5 overall, 70 run defense, 70.5 coverage, 58.4 special teams grade. Like, it's the Mike McGlinchey of corners. Analytics-wise, he's where he should be almost all the time. Penalties, scared to hit, doesn't match the style, the culture, the physicality of what the 49ers hold true. And they go out and they get a bunch of corners and a bunch of DBs to come in. And so what's going to change there? That's the question. Now, you look at him, his 4-year deal is a $4.7 million rookie deal. He's already collected $3.4 million of those earnings, so that's good. He started 9 games in his career, played in 39, and he was the number 3 corner last year. It was Charvarius Ward and Diamador Lenore. Early on, they thought that the nickel that they brought in from the Falcons was going to fix that. Didn't work out. So then it was Ambry Thomas as that number 3 guy. Now, look, the corner depth chart's tough. They usually keep 5 to 6 corners. Here are your locks. Charvarius Ward, Diamador Lenore, Renardo Green, who you just drafted this year in the 2nd round, and Isaac Yiadom. You look at his, he was taking the starter snaps because Charvarius Ward was out all throughout OTAs and minicamp. Plus, you look at his guarantees. Isaac Yiadom's making this roster, period. Behind that, you draft Darrell Luter Jr. last year, very physical corner. You bring in Rock Ya-Sin, very physical vet corner. Then you've got Ambry Thomas, Chase Lucas, Samuel Womack, Kamon Hall. There's a lot of guys there. And, who do you want, Rock Ya-Sin or Ambry Thomas? Well, do you want somebody that's got more playing experience? That's Rock Ya-Sin. You want somebody that fits your culture and more physical? That's Rock Ya-Sin as well. You want to go young pups? Darrell Luter Jr., physical, same metrics as Ambry Thomas, but bigger. I don't know. Can he go out there and have another training camp like he did last year and just say, like, it was very obvious watching training camp that Ambry Thomas belonged on this roster. The problem was as the season went longer and longer, the worse and worse he got. I don't know the answer. I really, really don't. It's going to be determined on the field, but I'm pretty sure the coaching staff, defensive coordinator got fired, and there's a big reason why. What you did in the playoffs was terrible. Why was the 49ers defense so bad in the playoffs? A lot of reasons. But reason number 1, at least for the divisional round and NFC Championship, it was Ambry Thomas. And it's kind of a what have you done for me lately business. I think he's a really good corner. I just don't think he fits what the 49ers do. He's number 64. I doubt he'll be on this team next year for a countdown, let alone this year for a 53-man. But if he surprises, the skills are there. This is an NFL cornerback that's probably going to play for another 3 or 4 years in the NFL. I just don't want his last snaps with the 49ers to be what they were, where it was just awful and just scared to play. We'll see. Literally had to bench this dude in the Super Bowl and bring in Logan Ryan off a cruise ship and play a position he hasn't played in like 6 years just because Ambry Thomas was scared to hit. That hurts. So, Ambry, come on, man. Go out there and shock us. Show us you belong. Show us the Ambry we remember, the ball skills, all that stuff. We'll see. For us, we'll just keep counting them down.